Alright, what is up, everybody? Here for another day of streaming Elden Ring. Today we have a cat in my lap, so we will see how long that lasts. And also how much that gets me killed. So yeah, yesterday we went through some of the early bits of Limgrave, got some stuff for our build, met Blythe, helped him out on his little quest, and then came down to Weeping Peninsula to go through Castle Morn. Today, we're gonna go through more of the Weeping Peninsula, clear out most of it, and then head back up to Limgrave proper. But before we do any of that, we got a stone sword key yesterday that we are gonna go use for a talisman. So this is where we fought the boat guy, talked to Dee, got some death root. Right over here, we have this little blocked off passageway. So we're gonna use up our key to unlock it. And find a nice little room full of friends down here. And a green turtle talisman. One of my favorite ones through the game. Switch out our axe for this. This just makes your stamina recover faster, which is really useful to have. It's pretty universal. Most builds won't hate having it, because everything you do takes stamina. So getting it back quicker is always a good thing. Now, it's hard to show, but once we get into combat, I'll be able to show when you're fighting, your stamina will go down every time you do anything. Out of combat, you can do whatever. Something has to aggro you to trigger. Here we go. We have aggroed the rats. So you can see when I am swinging, the stamina goes down. It won't regenerate if you are doing something to decrease it. So if you are constantly swinging, you are not able to regenerate anything. So you always have to take a moment to pause, back off, and regenerate. And that's where that green turtle talisman comes in. It makes everything regenerate a bit faster, so you don't have to back off as much, and you can get full faster. Or more importantly, you can get enough stamina to do what you want quicker. Now, as you can see, the rats here had some weird yellow glowing eyes. That is a sign of madness. Status condition, not something you want. typically any enemy that's got those weird yellow fire eyes has madness or the ability to give it to you with some of their attacks. Some of them use spells. The rats just build up your madness meter as they bite you. Deal with all these guys. And get a shield. And we can hear more of the rats running about. Oh, hey, message was appraised. We left one yesterday warning of an ambush by the little gremlin gargoyles in one of the catacombs. If someone comes through, finds the message helpful, gives it a little bit of a like, then you get a little bit of a heal as a reward for the good advice you gave. Generally, if you've got a very funny message... You think you'd shoot me so fast? Generally, if you've got a very funny message, or... I do hate flying enemies. I don't want to get off and switch... There we go. Range. I would prefer they just come down within sword range, so I can stab at them. So yeah, if you give a funny message or something very helpful, warn somebody about a danger that you have encountered before they come to it, that's a good way to get a message appraised and get a nice little bit of health back when you need it sometimes. Also, for anybody who saw the last stream, you'll notice we dealt with those winged misbegotten a lot faster this time, thanks to the upgrade we did to our claymore. The majority of your early game damage is going to come from upgrading. Scalings are still helpful, but overall, scalings are more of a late game thing to worry about. Base damage on the weapons can get you through a lot of things for this part. So, we want to go in, but as you can see, there's a giant rat back there who makes all the rules. So we're gonna have to be... Oh, there we go. Got hit. Madness bar going up. Hopefully we can deal with these little ones in a nice order. Oh. Sometimes the camera is much easier to take on if you can get the little ones one by one. If you run in here or can't kill them quick enough, that is going to be a very bad time for you. Rats can do a lot of stagger damage, and you'll die pretty fast and unexpectedly. Do not underestimate the rats. So with that, we've got everything up here that we really want. Looted all the buildings, got all the people, killed a lot of rats. Standard low-level adventure stuff. So that there we do really want, but we're not going to get it now. Might be hard to see, but there's some bats hanging down under that tombstone stair. And that's true of most of the lower ones here, so we're going to just ignore that scarab for a later date. Now, if you don't mind losing runes and plan to just go down there, get the scarab, and die to the bats, and leave whatever runes you have, that's fine. That's a way to do it. I'm just a bit vengeful. And don't want to leave the runes down there for damage. So if you also watched yesterday, that is one of the bosses we fought in the cave where they beat up our good friend Bach. A lot of early game bosses here are either going to be repeated, or you're going to notice that the boss becomes a normal enemy later on. So while those chieftains never become super common, you're still going to run into them from time to time. But luckily, like with the ones in the cave, they stagger very easily. And as long as you make sure that they're not able to hit you too much, with their expert dodging skills. If you avoid the chieftains, you'll be good. They can do a lot of damage really fast and they can stagger you, but you know, just dodge. Alright, so here we have a nice little cave. Back up a minute. So you'll notice these little circles here on the map, like this little orange brownish ring. That indicates that there's a cave there, or a tunnel. You can see it better right here. These are pretty good places to come to when you are wanting upgrade materials. They stick out of the walls and are really easy to get here. So, you can take the elevator straight down, but most of these tunnels will have a little platforming bit. And usually there is some sort of material that you can grab while you're here. As long as you are careful on the way down and don't just jump straight into this gaping hole that they left right under the elevator for no reason, you'll be good. So, if you look at the top left, we have a new status condition. The one on the far left is just our talisman, telling us that we regen stamina better. The one to the right means that we can't teleport. You can see that there's a little slash through all the graces, and a little message pops up telling us we can't fast travel from this location. A lot of the underground places, like these tunnels or the catacombs, will have this restriction. It's not too terrible most of the time. It's pretty manageable. So this particular tunnel has a lot of... You'll recognize most of these as ones we already dealt with in Castle Morn. Keep waiting for that one to wake up and come after me. But the other very common enemy you're gonna find in these tunnels are these little miner guys. Now, they're really nice in that they will keep mining and ignore you until you attack them. Some of them are more on alert, but most of the ones that are at the walls actively mining will not care what you do. Well, that's not good. We're gonna come back up here, because I would prefer to fight on this side. Yeah, come on up. Climb that ladder, buddy. Yeah, thank you. This is a much better location. I appreciate you. Thank you for making that a lot more convenient. So, another thing you're gonna notice is that while we're up here, we've got a good viewpoint of what we're gonna have to deal with later. So this is one of the points where incantations really will shine in combat. Whoop. Thought for a minute they weren't gonna fully aggro me. As long as you're careful to keep your balance. As long as they cooperate better than this. Unfortunate. Let's see if we can move that back here. Yep, there we go. Nice and easy. Too terrible, but those are the main things that will aggro us when we first enter into here, so it's good to just preemptively take them out. If you're not fully prepared for them, they will just gang up on you and make for a very not fun time. So you can see here we've got one sleeping, two sleeping, and then a third guy. So, the easiest way, if the camera cooperates, one. I'm still very used to taking 3 days like today to deal with these guys. So I'm gonna be overcompensating on a number of these hits. So as you can see with this guy, we can come, we can run around him, we can jump. As long as we don't take his material and don't hit him, he will not aggro. We do want to take advantage of this backstab. These guys are made of rock, so it can be very annoying to fight them if you're not using some sort of magic or taking advantage of the backstab. If you're two-handing your weapon, you should be good. You shouldn't bounce. I'll try and show the bouncing on one a bit later. Let's see. Oh, we've got one to the right and one to the left. So we're gonna come over and deal with you first. Now that one's not mining. So keep does aggro onto us when we come within range, which is not ideal. And we've got one up in there. Now you'll notice with a two-handed weapon like a greatsword, you can stab them decently well. And as long as you have a good amount of stamina, you can just keep swinging and kill them before they really get a chance to react. Now, bludgeoning, or strike weapons as they call it in this game, will deal good damage to them. I believe they have a much lower resistance to it. Magic is also very, very good against them. See about using some incantations to take care of one a bit later on. Lost track of where I came in at. So yeah, if we come down here, we have two that are not mining. So we're gonna go ahead and show... Yeah, see? One-shots them with a fully charged flame sling. Want to be incredibly safe, you can just go through and use incantations or sorcery if you're an intelligence build and clear out all of them like that. Not get your hands dirty, not take a lot of risks. The reason I don't do that is I'm planning to not rest before the boss, and I don't want to expend all my focus points. And most importantly, I don't want to trade all my health pots for mana pots. So you can see we've got some of these diggers. We also have more of the sleeping winged misbegotten. There's two of them in the side passages. You're going to want to take care of them first. We're going to go for this guy because he is far away from the miners. But if you don't take care of them first and start attacking the miners, they will wake up and they will aggro onto you. And if you are not one-shotting the miners, then it's going to be a bit harder to deal with them when they get up in the air and start shooting you. Oh. That red barrel with the lines there will explode if you throw some fire or explosives at it. It's definitely a way to take care of some of the things. As I am accidentally demonstrating very, very much in this place, when you do a critical of this sort, there is a period where the thing that you critical gets back up and has a immunity window where you can't follow up and kill them. So be sure you time better than I am doing, so you don't hit and run face first like that, exactly like that. Face first into the pickaxe. Now we can see right ahead somebody else is about to go in and fight that boss. Go ahead and just pop this. Bloodstained clothing from all the murder. as you'll notice, if you saw yesterday's, we already dealt with this guy. We are going to keep him stun-locked with Lion's Claw and defeat him that way. I don't feel too bad for doing that because he is just a regular enemy in these parts. Well, not fully regular, but like an elite enemy in this part. So he is not the toughest of bosses to deal with. Oh, those bats are back, but I don't really want to deal with them right now, so we are just right on past. So, you can run through. There are some items in that area. None of them are mega important. And I don't really want to deal with the poison flowers, so we're gonna just hop up back here, continue along our pathway. Got some nice little tree people guards who are going to take offense at us using the path. If you want to try a dex build, their weapon is pretty decent. I'm told it's got really good scaling, decent range. I've heard a lot of good things, haven't used it. But I do not really do a bunch of dex builds. Pilgrims, yeah, we'll deal with these There we go. Got it. So we have here another church. This one we've got Radigan T-position. Still have a tier and also some golden centipedes, which are very useful in crafting later. So we are going to take a moment, switch back to our early weapon, because we got a graveyard with skeletons. Up! That's what I get for deciding to do this before resting when I am out of focus points. Just come over, grab the grace, take a seat, use that tier, and get another lore dump from Melina.
Spoken echoes of Queen Marika linger here as well. Shall I share them with you? In Marika's own words, then, after thy death, I will give back what I once claimed, return to the lands between, wage war, and brandish the Elden ring, grow strong in the face of death. Warriors of my lord, Lord Godfrey.
Got a nice little lore drop. So, anyone interested in the lore, it's very, very cool. All these little tidbits she gives to us at the churches that are part of a speech are directly from Queen Marika to the first Elden Lord, Lord Godfrey, who, after he was no longer useful to the Golden Order, lost his grace, became tarnished, and he and his men were banished from the lands between. And T-posing dude over here, Radigan, became the next Elden Lord. So, as you may remember, and everybody who looks at us a bit funny when we're walking about, we are tarnished. We are either one of the people who were banished with Godfrey, or one of the descendants of the people banished. So yeah, once again, highly recommend having this Ash of War on a sword, just for the benefit of dealing with the undead faster. Come around here for a little hidden drop down. Herba, admire the view. And if we continue along this way. Hey. So as you can see, we're gonna take some fall damage there. You and Torrent take the damage separately. If Torrent's health bar is depleted, then he... If Torrent's health bar is depleted, he will disappear and fall to the ground. You can re-summon him by spending one of your Crimson Flasks, so less healing, or by just resting at a safe place. Now, if you are not in combat, and you have some time, there are some items you can craft which will restore health to Torrent. I do not believe I have any right now. I might have picked some up, but I'm not too worried about it. We're not planning to get into a fight with anything too dangerous that I feel like he's gonna poof out on me. So yeah, we are right below the church now, and there are several different ways we can go. So we can go down here, and all through that area, which is probably what we're gonna do. And I will showcase another cave that I am not going to deal with at this time. Showcase some cool enemies. And probably we're gonna go ahead and just show a trap that you're going to run into. Rats here. There's a lot of them lurking about, so be a bit on guard. They will start going after you once you take out a few and are riding around. But all these walls and bushes make for bad visibility there. Alright, there is a scarab up here that we want to get. And I have very terrible luck getting. Oh, exactly for that reason. He's gonna disappear on us. Unfortunate. Yep. Yeah, if you don't kill them in time, they vanish and laugh at you. So we will take more unnecessary fall damage. We have another Ever Jail. This one is a bit tougher than the one we did with Blythe. It also requires a stone sword key to open, so we're not going to worry about it now. Come back over here. Grab this race. And restore our health. Increase our flask charge, and we're gonna go ahead and level up. So we're getting very close to that 20 vigor that I'd like to see early on. Once again, it just gives us a lot more room to make mistakes. So you may have noticed when we walked in, some fancy guys that will be standing guard around here. Ah, yeah. Just looking at the wrong part of the church. So you can farm them for their weapons, their armor, the shields, their mausoleum knights. They're a bit tougher than the regular soldiers. The biggest thing is they can disappear and teleport around. So fighting them in groups can be very annoying. So we are going to avoid that. They do have pretty cool armor. Just, if I remember right, a bit on the heavier side. So we have some marionettes here. We're not going to deal with them or that area. It's a mini poison swamp if we get off Torrent. And there's a magic enemy that deals a good amount of damage and that we're not going to be able to do a lot back to. So we're just going to ignore it. Beat a lot of these really tough zombies that will attempt to grab you if you are on foot. Avoid being grabbed. Nothing good comes from these guys' fights. There's also a whole herd of them just roving about. Now, this is not a super effective method of getting runes. But there are a few dropped items here, and so since I'm in the neighborhood, and this has relatively low risk, might as well. They don't give the biggest amount of runes, but there are a lot of them. If you come here with some sort of bigger AoE, then it's a lot easier to mow these guys down. Really, the only thing I can think of that you have access to at this point would be dragon incantations if you're going a arcane base. Some others, we don't have it, but there's a short range melee sort of fire splash. That might work there as well. But that takes focus points, and honestly, if you have the time and you don't mind dedicating it to it, you can just go through right around them with your horse. And it's a fairly easy time. So we have a bit of loot over here. We are going to ignore all the octopi. Ah yes, that was not overly... I'm hearing a scarab. I think it is up on that cliff. I'm pretty sure it is just one of the Restore a Crimson Flask ones. But, you know. Maybe not. Maybe I'll check on that. We do have to go back and get that gold one that I failed miserably with earlier. Ah, yes. Sometimes this doesn't quite start moving, but we have the walking mausoleum over there with this nice little bell. Usually if you're in the area, you can hear him. We're not going to mess with that. It's not overly dangerous, but the big thing is what it allows us to do is not very useful right now. When we get a remembrance, I will come back and show it, but until I'm at the point where I need to use them to duplicate boss items, I like to leave those roving.
Well, it's been an age since I've seen a customer. How can I help here at the end of the earth?
Leaving them roving is pretty nice because it just tells you which ones you have not gotten to yet. So yeah.
Have a safe journey.
This guy gives us one of the most useful things that we could possibly get. And that is a lantern. So, yesterday when I went through the coastal cave, needed a light source, I had to take out a torch and hold it up like the level 1 adventurer I was. But I like wielding two-handed weapons. So was not a big fan of the lower damage that I was doing. This lantern solves that by just tying onto our waist. Once again, we've some graves to rob. Once again, there's some wolves who are going to object. Hey, buddy. Okay. Oh, I did not do that one. Royals, take note. Wolves have got you beat on that. Some others that I am just not seeing. So yeah, we're gonna come right around here. Stake of America. Always a good sign. Lets you know that, you know, might be a bit dangerous. Pop up. Got Elden with a ranged weapon who is going to attempt to use height advantage to shoot us. This guy, with that trumpet, will summon everyone. There is that dagger combo I was talking about yesterday. Way too much poise damage. It staggers us far more than it feels like it should. Not a fan. So, as you can see, we have a mounted knight and some retainers. We are not gonna mess with him right now. Gonna just over, grab the item. I've been duped, that is useless. And then we're gonna come over here. Now as you can see, they have a ballista up on that tower that is firing upon us. Stay over here, there is a just one of the refresh your pots one. Moment. Deal with the people we've lured over. Yep, that's your skull, bird. I'm not gonna mess with that. Come back through here. Mushrooms. Yeah. So, on the one hand, crafting in this game is, I feel, an overall positive addition. Prior Souls games, you had to spend money, also known as your leveling up resource. Hide up in here. Hope that the horseman just goes away. You know, I wonder if I could use Torrent to get through that window. That'd be good. So yeah, older Souls games, you had to buy everything, which means you have to find a merchant that sells it, and then have to spend your hard-earned runes or souls in those games to buy said items instead of leveling up. I definitely prefer Elden Ring's crafting. Don't think they'll aggro if I backstab this guy, but you know, let's let him get a little ways away. Oh. I was positioned poorly and not locked on. So, I absolutely wish that you could use these ballista to shoot at things. Shadow of the Erdtree, make it happen. Come on, FromSoft. Oh, this is also a trap chest. This is what we get in place of the mimics that omnom you. When you are ensnared in a trap, you are teleported to a location that is usually very, very dangerous for you for one reason or another. In this case, we are very far away in an end game area. Now, the other side effect of these transporter traps is we cannot teleport while we are trapped. Now, this one is not terrible. Like, yes, we have come to Lendel, but we can't actually access the city proper from where we're at. To become untrapped, all we have to do is sit at a grace. And boom! We are untrapped. Now, this guy is surely not going to stand up and kill us. But if he did, I am not going to really fight back because I can't kill him. Thought I had a little more time. Instead, we're gonna come over, grab the talisman. Ah, there we go. I don't want to lock on to him because I don't want to mess up my camera too much. So I was hoping he would swing faster and I could roll through it. Okay, stairs are not too bad. We're gonna showcase right now these sacrificial twigs. You'll pick them up. There's a limited number. They're a talisman. And what happens is if you die, like I just did, you keep all your runes on death. You don't lose them. And instead, the talisman is what breaks. Doorway. Gonna rest here and reset everything. So yeah, this is another nice talisman. It will slowly regenerate HP. It helps a decent amount when you're exploring the overworld, because it will just passively give you back HP from casual mistakes or, you know, being surprised. And if you're riding around on Torrent, hey, might as well. So we're gonna come back here, check our status. We only need 1500 to level up. And thanks to the graves we robbed, we have plenty. And boom, there's that 20 vigor I like to see early. So next, we're gonna really focus on strength, stamina, and a little bit of mind and a little bit of faith. So yeah, back at this church, we're going to showcase a cave that I am not going to go into, because it's just not really worth it at this time, in my opinion. So we're gonna grab the grace for easy teleport. Oh, we can showcase our lantern. So it sheds less light than a torch, but honestly, I feel like it's enough. So that is a poison swamp. Standing in it will slowly poison you over time. It is not a good thing to deal with. The mushroom-headed enemies will also fire poison spells at you to accelerate the death process of poison. And the enemy at the end is a giant poison flower.
Maclovio_silly is now following.
Oh. Thank you, Miclovio_silly. So yeah, the boss of that is a poison flower. We're not going to deal with that right now. It's in a very, very cramped space with little mini poison flowers. It's not a good time. There are some cookbooks we can get there for more item crafting early. Not really anything that is super needed. Ah, yeah, that is a red one. Yeah, not anything that is super needed, so we can ignore it for now. You get a talisman that boosts your stamina. No! Oh, thank God. Failure once again flashed before my eyes. I'm gonna come back here to where the rats are. And now that I don't really have a ton of runes that I'm worried about losing, I'm going to actually clear out the bottom of this. So, bloodstains and messages are a good way to tell that there is some sort of ambush here. So, we are just going to go ahead and summon our doggos. Gang up with that guy. And then we can see... Okay, doggos. Doggos. Let me through. He's got a friend. Yeah, get him, dogs. Yeah, not terribly tough. However, if you go in unprepared, they will just gang up, ambush you. Not a good time. This is a really fun weapon. I've seen a lot of people have a good amount of fun using it. Shout out to Shenpai, who has a great playthrough of Elden Ring, if anyone is wanting something to watch. That's available on YouTube. But they used it, seemed to have a good deal of fun with it. Looks really cool. So, we don't overly need this Site of Grace, but we might as well grab it just for completion's sake on this area. It is a bit closer to the Walking Mausoleum for when I do want to come back and deal with that. Or if you, say, want to go and farm the Mausoleum Knights, this is also a pretty good location to start that from. So what we're gonna do is get the last bits of the Weeping Peninsula that I think are important to get at this point. I may have to make the trip back to Kale because I believe I didn't buy all the cookbooks that I could from him. We've got 3 people popping out of the ground like daisies. There we go. Dealt with them. Gonna check real quick. Ah, we did get what we needed. Well, that changes things. So what we're gonna do now is try not to die while my cat decides he is coming back up. Yep, okay. There you go. Sit down, buddy. My cat has once again graced us with his presence. His very, very fickle need to try and make me die by hitting my controller at the worst times. So, these minor Erd trees that you will see often can have Erd tree avatars. Great boss. Asylum Demon 4.0? 5.0? Really easy fight in terms of you can learn the patterns. He can hit you really hard, but overall he doesn't have anything that's too terrible to deal with. I'm going to showcase this by immediately dying to him. But also, you can build fire pots, which are very effective. Most of these you can also ride on torrent for a good amount of way to get out dodge. That attack will have light spears coming out to murder you. Fire pot. And did not roll this time. You can turn directions on those swings, so be careful of that. The light spears you just run side to side and dodge. There we go with a nice dagger. And he is done. Excellent. So, yeah, good amount of runes, but most importantly, these Erdtree avatars will often have golden seeds, which will let you upgrade your flasks, and or more of the tiers for the One Triss Physique. Which is always nice to have more options available. Really lets you find a way to customize it that feels good for you. See people see more. Ooh, we got some armor. So we've also got some demi-humans over here. Clearly this is it. Enough to let them hit me like that. But here we are. Gonna grab all these smoldering butterflies. Those are a really good craftable to have. The fire pots that we were using against the Erdtree avatar take those, so having a good stock of those on hand is always, you know, a nice side benefit. Now these golden sunflowers are also used for a crafting item we're gonna want in a bit. So I'm just gonna grab them. I think I got sidetracked earlier, but I do prefer the overworld travel, find items, craft into the useful things. It just, for me, it's a more enjoyable sort of farming exercise than kill a bunch of people soon, rest at bonfire, do it again, get the runes to buy the item I need. There's still some of that with the merchants here, but usually it's for more important things or more limited things. But things like fire bombs, you know, it is nice to just be able to pick. Damn it, Matt. You weren't supposed to notice me that quickly. I do appreciate being able to just craft those at will. Oh, they have. As you can see, one of them is singing. It is actually a very, very annoying type of enemy. They have poison clouds, they do a lot of damage. Yeah, there's the poison cloud. Fly around a lot. And they are overly tanky for bats. They do tend to drop those really nice runes. So it can be worth it to go and kill them if you are just prepared to be annoyed with their fighting style. So, with that, we cleared out the minor tree. So, there's one more dungeon around here that we're gonna get. We're gonna come back for that Ever Jail later. We're gonna come back for a poison cave later. Oh, I missed a tree man. Once again, when you come to a place like this and deal with a group of enemies, be sure you get them all so none of them survive, swear revenge, and begin a hero's journey to kill you. As you can see, we've got a little statue there pointing to a hidden catacomb. Depending on the time of day, there might actually be jellyfish here as well, which can be a good indicator that there is, you know, a cave or catacombs nearby. So jellyfish are usually worth investigating. Just, you know, don't aggravate them. Be polite. We're gonna try and pump up strength a bit. And then this particular catacomb is another one with the undead. We're gonna utilize our key, utilize our very good undead killing score, and pick up a cookbook. Now, to showcase, so we made the fire pots. The sunflowers we've been picking up give us holy pots. If you're not going a faith build, or you don't want to have a side Ash of War to deal with the undead, you can make the holy pots. They do the exact same thing in terms of making sure they don't come back. Well, so it's a worthwhile investment if you're having trouble with the skeletons. I believe, I would have to double check, but I believe the particular book that gives them to you, I forgot about the animation. I believe the particular cookbook that gives it to you is one of the ones we picked up last stream in the graveyard or sarcophagus area by the artist shack. Now, the skeletons here are very tricky in terms of waiting until you move past them into the area. So the warnings are usually pretty good here. We've got a nice little set of messages warning us to use a bow like we did in that first catacomb. But this time we're going to showcase running through. There's always a side passage. Usually with some sort of enemy, make it harder to be in here. So, like before, you can just run through. Give it a whack, it'll make it go down. And then a simple jump or roll by it will make it stand back up. We're gonna deal with this annoying archer. He was just waiting for us to... Yeah, time for revenge, yes. So he was just waiting for us to come through here. Gonna lower this, so this is a trap. We are going to spring the trap and deal with the trap in a very fun way. We're gonna run in, grab the item, book it, jump up onto here, and laugh as the fire takes out our enemies for us. So the fire is not holy, so they will try to reform. However, luckily, the timing of the fire will get them while they reform and end them for us. We can tell when we receive the runes that they are dead for good. And here we can see the fire is not doing anything, so they're all whack. And we can come back through. All of them are gone. We can grab this. I will say, I do very much appreciate the catacombs as little mini sort of puzzle dungeons in a lot of cases. I think they are pretty fun. Some of them are very, very clever. Higher ahead. Ah yes, the glovewort that we have been picking up. That is used to upgrade our spirit ashes, so upgrades the doggos, or whatever else you decide to go with if you use them. We have not yet unlocked the NPC that will allow us to upgrade, so we don't need to worry about turning those in at any point. It will be a little bit before we get there. Our door is open. Now, you can pretty easily trigger some things to get that NPC early. If you really want to. I do not overly feel the need to get them super early. Oh, you know what? Let's go ahead and mix up our Fortress Physic. So we're gonna do this, which is gonna restore health for a period of time. And then we'll go ahead and do this, which is gonna give us a shield to negate damage. Most of the early areas, Limgrave, Weeping Peninsula, all these bosses are not super hard, and you can do them with unupgraded Spirit Ashes perfectly fine, so I don't feel the need to rush progression of NPCs to get that. So part of the reason we did that and switched up the Wondrous Physic is we can now shove it before entering a boss fight to have the effects. As we face the sleep paralysis, teleports around, stabs a lot, and has many shame in using the Naga It has a green projectile that will do lots of flames. But yeah, he is annoying. Not a huge fan. So with that clear, we're gonna teleport back to the entrance. So we got another Spirit Ash as a reward for this. A lot of people really like it. It is a stronger one. We'll go ahead, find it in the inventory. So it's a unique one, pretty strong, good damage, but the trade-off is that comes at the cost of a heck of a lot of FP. A lot more than we have right now. The wolves are only 55. It is close to double the wolves. Now, it can be worth it, but that also means you need to focus on mind to increase your FP by a bit. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just you kind of have to build around being able to summon that and some of the other more powerful ashes. We are definitely going to be increasing our mind. I just don't focus on it right off the bat. But if you really like using Spirit Ashes and want a good strong one, that is one that isn't terrible to get early on. As you can see, the boss takes a lot of damage. He's mobile, he can be frustrating, but he goes down pretty easy. I will say, I did my first playthrough of this game was a intelligence caster who liked to stay at a distance and, you know, shoot spells, kill people that way. I tried out that summon on that character, and I'm just kind of biased against it. The summon is fine, it's strong, it does good. But you see, I was wanting a tank that was gonna draw aggro so I could stay farther away and deal damage with my spells. That Spirit Ash moves. That Spirit Ash moves. And, you know, it can drop aggro by teleporting. This is a demi-human queen. A real boss we will see a bit more of later. Not terribly hard. can cast magic. So if you have trouble dodging projectiles, it's a good idea to stay closer. The staff isn't bad. I feel like there's better ones you can run towards early in the game. But demi-human staff is good. Here's one of those chieftains that we fought on the bridge, in the cave. Like the rest of them, he staggered super easily. So, not a terribly hard thing to pick up all our material. And then you have to use Torrent to hop over the wall to get into here. This doesn't really work otherwise. Got a nice little shield. Some torrent. And then run around. Yeah, you can see the wolves are blinking because I'm exiting the area that they're allowed to be summoned in, which was just the boss area for have a nice section of ambushes. For people curious on how the map fits together, so through there is where we got to the tunnel earlier. Avoid all the poison flowers. Now, this, you'll see some of these. If you examine it, it will summon a little specter that's going to lead you to something. In this case, he leads us to a cave on the edge of the cliff that I am going to ignore. And I'm ignoring it solely because the boss is a bear. And I am not about to go fuck with a bear. I did it yesterday to showcase to chat. Had a very rough time running from it, dying to it. You know, showcase what bears can do. And if you're interested, you can always go watch that. With some of the doggos, we're gonna just ignore them. Demi-humans dying on our left. Poison flowers sprinkled throughout this area, along with dogs. And then we've got dogs. And a guy with another guy throwing projectiles. These. And fall immediately through the floor. Is there something down here? No. Just another way in. So we're gonna climb to the top of this tower. All these flights of ladders. The out this guy. And get a hand ballista. Now, some of these bigger crossbows and bows can be very fun to use. Not the most effective weapons, but you know, they can still work, and it is fun to just be carrying around a ballista or a cannon to fire upon things. See, those flowers are opening up as we go by and spewing out poison clouds. Don't want to deal with them. Instead, come up here. So this is pointing to a catacomb, which I am going to skip for now. The reason it's just down here, you can see the jellyfish. The reason I'm skipping it is 100% because it has a very frustrating boss fight with a lot of gargoyle minions that spawn in with the boss. And that's not a good time. I do not overly enjoy it. So we're gonna come back when we're a bit more leveled and deal with it then. Okay, level up. Strength. We're gonna want to start leveling up endurance a bit. But for now, I want a bit more damage. So, we have covered most of the things in the Weeping Peninsula. There are a few things on this side that I did not get. Nothing super important. There's the Scarab there. We have the Tombsword Cave, the Everjail, and then this catacomb as well. All of those we're going to come back to. There's some bosses here that are only active at nighttime, and we're going to be coming back to fight them anyway. So, it's on the agenda, it's just not super important. Instead, we're gonna head to the Round Table Hold again and go talk to Hugh.
Well, I took you for dead. No matter, it's all the same. Lay out your arms, then.
Fun fact, he is actually working on one of my favorite weapons to play in this game. The Banished Knight's Greatsword. If we get lucky enough. Oh, we're still on 1 for this. If we get lucky enough to get it later, I will definitely be using it. We could also farm for it. I might end up doing that. But, you know, we'll decide that later.
Back already, no matter.
It's not the most interesting of things to watch, but, you know. Still worth it to just have it. So we've got our Claymore equipped to a +5, doing a lot more damage. The Seal is lagging a bit behind, but I tend to focus on the melee weapon first, because I am primarily a melee caster. Interesting. I don't think I went far enough up to get that. I wonder why that's showing. So we have a few options now. We've got a boss in the lake, we have the tunnel, we have 2 dungeons here, we have a dungeon here, here. We have an Everjail right there that I'm going to ignore for a while yet. And then we have 2 more nighttime bosses. This and this. For clarity, these are not the nighttime bosses, they're just more little dungeons that we can do. So, we have a low rune count. So we're just gonna go to the lake. Might as well. It's the most dangerous of the things that we're gonna be fighting for a while, so might as well tackle it first. Well, we've only got 200 runes. Because, you know, if we die, and especially if we die twice and can't get the 200, I don't overly mind. There's a closer grace right here. And this. Good friend, Yura.
You must be the new Tarnished. You do well to steer clear of a Gill Lake, fledgling. A dragon roosts there, and it's as fearsome as it is majestic. So, unless you're mad, or wish to be burned alive, stay clear of the lake.
So yeah, Yura's a good guy, gives us a warning about the dragon. But like I said, I don't care if I lose only 200 runes. So we're gonna come around. We're avoiding the actual ruins, because there's a lot of enemies in there and we're not looking to get more runes. We're gonna approach here and witness the dragon. Get hit by him on everything. Now, dragons are not terribly hard to deal with. I'll do the foot slam attacks, which aren't terrible. The slam that you just saw, you want to avoid, and then you've also got to avoid the fire breath. You definitely stay up on him, because if you're at range, he's more likely to do fire breath. You kind of want to bait in the foot slam attack. You can bait in a fire breath there when you can charge the torrent, then that's a good time to damage. Also, anyone doing a melee weapon will have a easier time. Oh my god, that rock saved tail away. Enough damage to get a critical, but it's okay. Takes extra damage on the head, which you can take advantage of, but I kind of prefer a safer fight than biting at his ankles the entire time. And as you can see, it gives a good amount of damage. So dragons also give a heart, and that little message that popped up also gives us the clue as to what the hearts are used for. It is purely to do the dragon incantations by going to the church on the island that we saw earlier and undertaking dragon communion. Some of the dragons that you'll find give you bonuses when you beat them, by which I mean they have their own unique incantations. Agil is one of those. He has a more damaging fire breath. What I have heard when I was doing a more arcane-focused build that utilized the Dragon Communion incantations, it's not super worth it to go for some of the unique named things. They cost a little too much focus. And the damage is not so insane compared to more normal versions. Time for that one, right? So yeah, this is going to be another mine that we're going to go through to get more upgrade material. We got a pickaxe. I've never utilized one of those before. The really cool thing about this game is how many viable builds there are. If you see something and you think you can try it, you can. You can find a build that's really made for you, and it'll be a good time. You can succeed in anything in this game if you take the time to learn it and, you know, make it work for you. I also think there's a lot of value in going through and playing it more than once. Not necessarily New Game Plus. New Game Plus is its own experience. But a fresh playthrough with different things that you're trying out is always a fun time. Alright. Part of the reason we delayed coming to this mine until we had a few more levels is this room in particular. This room is annoying. So, we have a dog there. We have a second hidden dog also there. And we have one of the diggers around who will take offense and come at us. Dogs stagger super much. The camera is not kind to me here. But by some miracle that I do not understand, we have made it through. Good lord. And the cat is back to try and kill me. Oh, buddy. You can't sit on that cord. Yep. Also have a notification for later, so if the screen randomly stops, I have lost power. So if that's the case, thank you anyone tuning in. And don't forget to catch me tomorrow and Thursday, 7 p.m. So, we have cleared out that place, gotten the upgrades we want. Obviously, we haven't beaten the boss, which is down that hidden pathway. But we're gonna go ahead and come at it with a fresh set of health flasks and focus points. Yes, be sure not to keep running blindly forward into that hole. You don't want to die like that. You know. We really want to focus on strength at the moment, but, you know, we can spare a few for endurance right now. So, something you will find out very quickly playing this game, there's a lot of things that you can just run past. For instance there, we didn't get any aggro, we were able to just quickly run on by and get back to here. You'll learn as you play. You'll learn as you play what things you can get through and what things is better to clear out. But that just comes with game experience. He's not going to interfere. Even if we're making noise. Still because we've got the wandering guy and the sitting guy. So for those, we're gonna get ready. Fire. Did we take? Just double checking because I could not remember if I picked up that upgrade. Boxes because we have another little pathway to fall down. Could this be trap? Oh. So yeah, after getting those, if you come back down here for any reason, you can take the elevator. But I like hopping down the first time and grabbing things. Alright, we have enough focus to summon the doggos, preemptively drink our wondrous physic, head through the doors. Slats, we're going to be fighting a troll. This in particular is a stone troll. This is a bit more sturdy. Still, you can stagger them, run to the head, and get bit more leveled than you'd normally be for this one. But that's okay. You can come to this tunnel earlier. It's a very good source of the smithing stones. You know what? We're gonna go directly to the next bit, and for that we're gonna want to rest. You can see someone else going down and picking stuff up along the way. Yeah, you can come here earlier. Depending on your build, it can be a little harder to deal with the stone diggers, but it's still very manageable. The troll itself can be a bit harder than some other early bosses. Not necessarily... Oh, come on. Not necessarily because he is difficult. It is more the tiny room that you fight him in, and the camera can combine to give you a very hard time. That is truly the roughest part of that fight. We could go ahead and grab our sidearm before going to deal with some of the dead. No. We'll use up 2 of our leftover pots. Now, close the distance that fast, buddy. Dragonflies are in no way difficult, but they are very annoying because they're very hard to hit and kill, and they do just enough to stab you at the worst possible time when you're trying to fight something else. Alright. Another reason to rest. So, coming down this canyon, I do not recommend very early in the game, because you have an invader come in. Now, it will trigger about here. You cannot use Torrent when you are invaded. This is an NPC, so if you run this way, that helpful NPC from earlier, Yura, he is going to come in and help you with this fight. I think I aggroed another dragonfly? Maybe? No. He is gonna come in and help you with this fight, because he's a good guy. This is a very hard fight for early in the game. I highly recommend getting a lot of levels. This guy is fast. He is an NPC. Dodge. He has a bleed weapon with a bleed projectile attack, which can be very annoying. Now we're dealing good damage. Oh, he can heal as well because he is an NPC. Dealing good damage. That is mostly because he's leveled at this point. No joke, if you run into this guy earlier, you're gonna have to really ask yourself if you want to deal with trying to get your runes. Because this guy is very hard to escape from. It's annoying to come in here, trigger him, try to get out. And the bleed damage he has and the speed at which he procs it are no joke. I highly recommend coming once you have a decent amount of levels and are fairly confident with your ability to dodge things and take them on. I'm gonna come here and talk to Yura.
Ah, we meet again. To have fought Nereus and lived. You must have seen your share of battle. I am Yura, as you might recall. Hunter of bloody fingers, tarnished, held in thrall by cessblood. Zealots, who stalk their own, who stay the path. You're certain to face more of them. Just remember, no kinship with their ilk remains. Their madness precludes it. Don't let your emotions stay your blade. Be on your way. Perhaps we will meet again. If fate permits.
Yura's a good guy. as shown by him stepping in to help you right there. That's another thing, it takes him a bit to show up to the fight, and surviving to the point that he shows up can be rough if you are too low level. So, highly recommend waiting until you're a much higher level to come down and try to get through this canyon and get into the cave. The cave itself is laughably easy compared to Nereus. Oh, also, Yura can die when he helps you. It doesn't, like, change anything story-wise, but it does... It is obnoxious in that if you are not doing enough, you're not going to get the most out of him. So we've got some bandits running around. As you can see, they have bells and chains. If you trigger those, it's going to bring all of them in. So we are going to thread the needle. And so, up. Yeah, see, we've got 3 more of them. So we're gonna aim for this guy. Might be able to split the barrels. Unfortunate. There we go. Should have aimed for it. They do have an armor set that you can farm for. It is not, in my opinion, a super good armor set, but, you know, it is still an armor set. Ugh. So, as the messages are alluding to, this is a well-known Souls NPC. Patches, good old Patches. He appears in most of the games.
Help yourself to a man's personal belongings, huh? You scheming little thief! The gods demand repentance! Cough up your
He's
coin.
here in a lot
All
of the
it.
Souls games. He betrays you, does a lot of poison stuff. This one, he can carry you.
Wait, please! I surrender! White flag and all!
Most importantly, he doesn't want to die and recognizes that he is not the protagonist.
Finally come round, have you? I knew you would. You're a man of reason. Through and through. Ah. Well, what do you know? You're tarnished, like me. Now, how did I get that wrong? I took you for a demi-human or some such. An innocent mistake, I assure you. Well, water under the bridge. Now we're squared up. How about we play nice from now on? A true man of reason. Just what I like about you. I'm Patches. Patches the untethered. Tarnished like you, only free-spirited. Nomadic, you might say. Only for now, those retired soldiers turned bandits. They're paying for my gruel. In exchange for my, well, showing them the ropes. But honestly, this looting racket is bloody terrifying. Frankly, I'm ready to wash my hands clean. Maybe set up a legitimate shop. So don't be a stranger. I'll be ready to wheel and deal come next time.
So yeah, he will surrender when you get him to about half if you just stand back. The fight will end. He'll become an NPC. And as long as we teleport to the entrance, rest, and come back, he will be a merchant. Now, if you do kill him, which, fair, it is Patches, he will try and betray you at every opportunity. But if you do kill him, you do not lose his merchant wares. He'll leave behind a bell bearing. You can turn that in at the round table hold and still have access to everything that he sold. So no need to worry about that. He does have a quest line that you can do. So if you kill him, you will not be able to complete that quest line. I don't think there's anything super important in it, but you know, if you're going for completion, might as well leave it
Well,
alone.
nice of you to drop in finally. It's all a bit ad hoc, but I'm sure you'll find something. And welcome to Patch's Emporium, where you won't need a refund, because everything's top-notch.
So yeah, the big things for him are this football and this shackle. Excuse me. So Margit is a boss that we have to beat to enter into the castle. Now, the shackle will be used where you can tie him up for a short bit to get free damage. It can only be used when he's above 50% health, so it's a good way to speed up the fight. If you are having trouble with Margit, come and get this item. It will make the fight a lot easier.
Yeah, I had those bandits make a clean break. Now they're all suppliers, and good ones at that. I mean, they don't understand a word I'm saying, but it hardly matters. We have a natural connection. They're all foot soldiers, survivors of a defeated army, worked to the bone by their high and mighty lord, only to be thrown out with the rubbish. It's the same old story everywhere I go. To hell with it all. Wondering what's inside the treasure chest. Well, it's nothing too special. Just something I'm saving as thanks for a very valuable customer. But then again, it would fetch some spectacular coin. And besides, this valuable customer could be a long time coming. Huh? Everything is give and take. Give and take. Cheers for that.
Yeah. So this is the first potential time that Patches will betray you. Another way to tell if a chest is trapped is you hit it and that smoke will pour out. That's the indicator that it is trapped. This sends us to the woods with the bears. So I'm not taking that. He's there trying to get me to open it and hoping they'll kill me. I'm not gonna fall for that. Also, the bloodstains in this area. Patches is not a difficult boss, but because of the spear and that giant shield he has, it can prove challenging. He can get a parry, you can bounce off it, and spears and any piercing weapon really in this game have bonus damage if they hit you while you are in the middle of an animation. So Patches is not a very tough enemy, but he has enough that makes him deadly, especially to a newer player, that it might still take you a few times to deal with him. Now I'm going to follow the canyon to the rest of the inn. Mira has returned to the Dragon Lake area. We have some slimes and some undead. We're just going to ignore them. They're not really worth dealing with. And instead, what we've got is another catacombs. We're gonna go ahead and we're not gonna level yet because we're gonna clear this place out and we'll level after. So as you can see, we've got more of the gremlin gargoyles. We also have one on the left. Yep, just the left. So they are here, ready to and damn it, I didn't think I could get that one. Yeah, that one is gonna wait until we're closer under it. Drop down. We're not gonna give him that opportunity. And I am surprised that I did not have a message here. So we're gonna go ahead and put a little warning about the guy on the left. Nice, helpful thing for the people coming through. So, clearly we have those guys up ahead. We also have a pressure plate right here. Did I already? Oh, shit. I already triggered them. Well. Lead off. Yep. So yeah, we have the trap here. I will set it off after this to showcase what it does. Be wary of left. Oop, almost set it off by accident. Yeah, so as you can see, nasty ambush, where the hope is that you'll trigger the trap, take the damage, these guys will activate and range attack you, and this guy will leap out. So that pressure plate is going to, you can see the holes on the stairs. It's going to shoot some arrows out, so you can avoid it by sticking to the side. And it is possible to use it to kill the little gargoyle gremlins. Now we have the exact same... I don't know what those runes came from, and I do not particularly like that that just happened. We have the exact same scenario here, except what's going to happen is we have the two ahead, there's going to be one above, and we have another trap. So what we're going to do in this case is we're going to trigger, get to the side poorly, and not deal any damage to the trap. Unfortunately. So we're going to run in here. Yeah, I thought you would have done it sooner. So yeah, this is a incredibly short little dungeon. It can still be very deadly with those gargoyles if you're a low level, but you know, not the worst boss either. In fact, I'm overconfident to go in without going to healing back. heavy hitting attacks, so not overly tough. Fairly easy. We also got another unique Spirit Ash. This one I like better than the headless one. By no means my favorite, but a very nice one to have early on if you like summoning them. Banished Knight Engvil he's a decent guy. We're gonna run through here. Top up this. Oh, straight to bears. God damn it. You love to see it. There is the little statue pointing to the catacomb we just went to. This is the wrong side. We did not want to come up this side. Can we? No, that is too steep. Ugh. The two big killers in this game are impatience and gravity. I think we can make that. There we go. Hit the skull. So yeah, this section is an upper continuation of the canyon. And it's got a nice little hidden dungeon at the end that we're gonna go to. Lots of the octopi in here, we're gonna ignore them. Don't want to deal with those tentacles. That is a shortcut to here from up above, and a shortcut out of here that we will utilize later. I think we want to go up. I believe there is an item at the end of this that we're going to want to pick up. Careful not to fall off. Just a nice view of the tower. So yeah, there is a little hidden cave back here. So this cave, I highly recommend waiting until you have It's another instance of a very dark location where you're gonna benefit a lot from having a light source, and I prefer the lantern to the torch. I like being able to two-hand or have an offhand for spells or anything. You don't want to fall directly down. You will die to fall damage. Another great killer in this game. So be sure you land on all the things on the way down. So we're gonna have some wolves. Miss. And you know what? This is a good time to showcase, because this is going to be a slow crawl. So we're gonna go ahead and put on our little regen bit. Yeah, so this is just a dead end that was hiding wolves. This should have an item for us at the end. Potentially more wolves, yep, and a big one. Yeah, if you were watching the previous stream and are now watching this one, you can already see the progression. that the levels have made in terms of damage, where before it would take 3 hits for one of those big white ones, now it's only taking 2. Gonna finagle our way down here. There's nothing here except, I believe, some moss. Yes, we have someone thinking there is a secret passage and trying to open it, but sadly, nothing there. So yes, we have another instance of wolves. The environmental storytelling is really cool. This is the second time we've come to a sort of cave that people were using as a hideaway or refuge. And we're finding animals have come in, killed them, and taken it as a den. Always have a ranger or a druid in the party to prevent just this sort of scenario. So yeah, we're gonna have more wolves. More prepared for us than another big one. Now that we know 3 hits kills them, we can just go ahead. And you can already see that there are other enemies here because we've got the bat corpses. So this is the portion where it's really good to have some sort of range firepower, like these incantations. Hopefully we don't step over the edge. Be mindful of that for both types of spell casting. Some of your spells... It really is. If you were here earlier, there was a graveyard with several wolves that blended in really well. One of them very easily slipped my notice. As I was saying, for any type of your spellcasters, be mindful. Some of your spells will make you step forward. This is very dangerous when you're trying to snipe things from a ledge. Come down here. That's... Hello, welcome to chat. A cave. Alright. First time I had to do this, I died a lot. Try and line it up. Usually there's some helpful messages telling you where to go, and don't go too far. You'll land nice and easy. And let's hope I don't instantly embarrass myself by not making this jump. No bears yet this stream. Run from all of them. I've avoided the bear dungeon solely because I did not want to deal with them. So we can go directly to the boss via that, but there is more loot to be had via platforming. remember if it's worthwhile loot. Ah, yeah, more of the people who were living here before the animals came in. This is High Road Cave. It is right here at the end of this little divot. You go down a good amount of drops, and you'll deal with a lot of the wildlife. Obviously, we've got the octopus waiting to eat us. We are not going to deal with him. Help it. Run on past where he can't. Yeah, he gets us the Shamshir, which I have never tried as a weapon. And has a fairly easy boss. It is just one of those golems with the very breakable shins. Head. Just physic. Immediately gonna go for shins. I actually like the golem designs. They look very terrifying and they can be difficult, but once you figure out that you just need to break their ankles and stab them while they're down, they are a lot more manageable. So yeah, this is the area. It's right under the bridge that connects us to Summon Water Village. An easy way to get in and out if you don't want to run around straight from the entrance over there is you can use this little air geyser to get up here. Now there is a site of grace right there that we're going to get, but most importantly, here on Stormhill, we've got another friendo.
Hello? Can you hear me? Help me. I'm stuck. Hello? Oh, my stars. I'm so happy to see you. I am Alexander, also known as the Iron Fist. And as you can see, I'm stuck here. Please, can you help me out of this? My thanks. 1,000 thanks. Just give me a good smack from the rear with something nice and big, and I'll
Yeah, Alexander is one of my favorite NPCs from this. A lot of people kill him right here, and they are monsters.
Well played, good sir. Well played. Though that mighty wallop of yours almost spelled the end of me. Well, I'm out now, and that's what counts. I thank you. And as a token of my appreciation, I'd like you to have this. Once again, the pleasure is mine. I am the warrior Jar known as Alexander. Iron Fist Alexander, in fact. I journey to the east, where I intend to further my education in the ways of war. And beyond these lands lie the scarlet, rot-blighted Kaled Wilds. And upon their southern edge is Redmane Castle, in which a festival of combat is being held. I'd heard whispers of such festivities before. Doesn't the notion set your breast aflutter?
So yeah, he is a person. He is great. He's wonderful. Iron Fist Alexander is nothing but a friend to you, and anyone who kills him right here is a monster. We can proceed along his quest line, but that involves going east into Caelid, which I am not ready for. So we're not gonna. Yeah, the blue dancer charm is interesting. I've seen a lot of things that have used it as builds. I kind of like wearing armor. And the blue dancer charm requires you to be wearing as little as possible and carrying as little as possible. So, not quite my cup of tea. There is an item. We're gonna go ahead and run past this guy. I don't feel the need to deal with him. And yeah, we're gonna proceed along to Stormhill. Yura was around here. We did, so yeah, he is right there. And then you do meet him right under here after you beat the NPC invader that he helps you with. Okay. Bear with me one moment. Sorry about that. My cats decided to have a disagreement. Yeah, he is by the lake, and then when he helps you with the NPC invader, he will be right around here too. We did talk to him, and he disappeared back to the lake. So now, we have another catacomb. So the beast eye that we got from Garank is going to let us know when there is more death root around. Yeah, if you played at release, then there aren't the helpful NPC markers, and yeah, it was super hard to keep track of where NPCs were, especially the ones that move. And it is obnoxious, especially for the ones who have a lot of stories that you can miss out on if you're not following them closely. So we have switched back to our side mission for dealing with the undead. Ah, yes. Also, as I was saying, the beast eye that we got from Garank will let us know when there is death root in the area. So if we find another boatman or a dungeon like this where we've got the death root as a reward at the end. A lot of the tricky skeletons to try and surprise you. Oh, Millicent has the absolute worst quest line in terms of how missable every single step of it is. Like, if you are interested in Millicent as an NPC, you need to pick up a book guide to get every single step, or you are going to miss something and not have her for all of it. Luckily, a lot of it can be missed, and it doesn't hurt you. But, you know, there are some boss fights she can help you with, which are dramatic and cool. And it just gives you a lot more of a connection to her if you hit all the steps. But yeah, hers is like the one you need a PhD to get in this game. Okay, come on, buddy. Come on. There we go. hop down here. More. Thought I heard another. Some of these aren't gonna trigger. Up. Some of these aren't gonna trigger until we go into the yeah, those two will be back up when we come out. Alright, yep, see, they're waiting for us. And there we go. So yeah, not the worst dungeon, just a lot of ambush skeletons, so be sure to read the messages to see where they're about to hop out from. We're gonna heal up. Switch back to our trusty claymore. And go for the boss. This boss is pretty cool. You'll fight more like it later. It's a Black Knife Assassin. To showcase that it is a tougher enemy than we can take now, this is the rare case of a boss starting with less than full health. It is also very mobile, which is why the wolf is very helpful. But for things that stagger easily, it's great because of just how many there are. So here we go. We've got Death Root. We can go take that back to Gronk, get more stuff from him. Check if more people have died to the gargoyle in front of him. So we can utilize our fast travel. So there's two ways you can do this. You can either wait and turn in a bunch of Death Root all at once, or every time you get it, you can come back, have a little chat, give him a snack.
More. I'm not sated. Feed me more. Death.
Sometimes you just got a craving and you need to eat death. Yeah, he is also one of my favorite NPCs. I really enjoy talking to him and getting all the incantations from him. Good enough. We're gonna pour it more into strength. Alright, so what we have left in Limgrave at this point, we have a boss here, mini boss here, mini encampment here, and then we have no more dungeons. We did all of them, I believe. Yep. Well, except that one. Well, that's not really a dungeon. But yeah, we've got the two dungeons we skipped in Weeping Peninsula, which I'm just not gonna do, and some nighttime bosses, which, you know what? It is night. So let's go ahead and deal with one of these. So we're going to be dealing with a fun little bit of nightmare fuel called a death bird. This is the easiest one in the game. It can still be annoying if you are having trouble with its moveset, but luckily it is very doable. Oh, can we not get up over here? Yeah, let's go around. Let's not bother our friendly foe just yet. Yeah, I see octopus. So the death birds are very weak to holy. They're a bit like undead in that. So we have our sidearm. Gonna avoid this dog. We also have holy pots, so we can fling them. I recommend summoning for this, not because you need it against the death bird, but because for whatever reason, every single thing on this hill wants you dead. Oh shit. They're not here for the death bird, they're there for the encampment, so that was a waste of a summoning. Yeah, I don't know why these goats have chosen to murder me, but they have. Oh, fine, gotta move forward, buddy. As you can see, my holy pots do a ton of damage to them. Holy pots across the face. I know I said this was easy, but I just hate having to look at it. Got him before he smacked me. God damn it. This is what I mean. Everything on this hill wants to kill you. So yeah, fun part of Storm Hill, where there are a ton of trolls. It's good practice if you want to fight them, to learn how to take them out one at a time. Gives you a lot of runes. We don't overly need that. But one thing we do want to get that guy, because that statue there needs a troll to break it, and he's just a little too close. And we don't want to aggro too many of them at once. Thank you. That's the kind of night it's going to be. I struggle with the relatively easy death bird and then get 2 trolls perfectly. You know, let's just tempt fate and go for a third. Get this undone. No, I did not. Blue potion. Shouldn't have to be able to cheese it with life. only hubris if it gets me killed. I live. Therefore, I was just right. Continues on, missing every swing of these bats. Kill you, I don't have to deal with sad face for the wolves. I don't enjoy killing them. I don't enjoy killing them, but the fact that if I leave them, they are going to chase me down means that sometimes I have to. Oh! Suicide rocks are blowing up. They really are just big puppers. It really also hurts. There's a slight reference, or I find it to be a reference, in the very first Dark Souls. You have to deal with Great Wolf Sith, who is guarding their old friend Artorias' grave, and you must kill them. It is required. You cannot complete the game without it, which is just, you know, a crime, as well as how well they animated the hurt pupper when it's at low health. But in this game, the reference, I think, is oftentimes at those sarcophagi graveyards, you will find wolves wandering around like they're guarding it. And it just always reminds me of that. And I still feel really bad killing them. I do not enjoy doing that. There is one wolf later that is not a big pupper. It is a menace to society. And I do not feel bad about killing that one. But also, it makes me work for it, so it's okay. We have another friendly NPC.
Everyone's been grafted. Everyone who came with me. They crossed the sea for me. They fought for me. Only to have their arms taken. Their legs taken. Even their heads taken. Taken and stuck to the spider. Did you know? If you're grafted by the spider, you become a chrysalid. It's quite a lark when you think about it. You're all on your own, are you? And heading to Stormvale Castle? Enticed by the one in the white mask, I suppose. Oh, you've come to be one with the spider? Well, that makes us two peas in a pod. But I don't have your courage. It's scary, you know, having your arms cut off. Or legs. Or your head. I want to be like everyone else, but I'm just too scared. I'm nothing but a craven.
Oh, see, I don't mind her being a craven. This is the most realistic NPC they have given us. Someone who is terrified by the horrors.
Know. Can you take this little one along with you? The poor thing deserves someone braver than myself. And The spirits look rather fondly upon you. It'll be glad of your company, I think, the little un.
Yeah. She also, I do really like the spirit summon, the jellyfish. It is a really good one. I tend not to utilize it as much as I should, but it is a great tank. It tries its little heart out, and it is wonderful to install. For sure, it's a really good one. I really appreciate how they work to give us good early spirit summons, because a lot of the time, well, you get the wolves, and then a lot of the time, oh, really having to you're gonna find the wolves, the jellyfish are gonna be some of the first two, and they're very usable as compared to some things like the dumb sorcerer ashes that barely do anything. Yeah, it does fall off, which is a shame, but it can last a good while. It's really good for Margit too, which I think is really nice. Alright, here's an Everjail. We're not going to deal with this. We are not going to fight our good crucial this early. Not until we get an easier way to deal with them. Ignore the screaming, it's just the crucified people. They do that at night. Oh, thank God for that run. Didn't think he'd turn around so quickly. You, you. Stormhill is really atmospheric, and I do love it, with just the constant wind all around, and just the, like, ruined golems strewn everywhere. Very cool aesthetic. This side does not really have that much. It is a bit empty over here. Like, we've got the golem fight. We've got the Crucible Knight, Everjail, and then we've got a little graveyard we're gonna go through. Gotta get our Starlight Shards, too. No bears, thankfully. And we've got jellyfish. So some of these are going to be agitated. They're going to be red. That will spread to the others. So we're going to try and make this quick, because I don't like fighting with them, because usually they're so peaceful. We've also got the undead. This is one area I don't tend to fight here. I just kind of grab the stuff and get out. This. I feel like there was another thing. Yeah. Thank you. That didn't hurt too much. did not fuck up Vare. I just kind of ignored him and moved on. I always screw up the little quest line to get his mask, so I'm trying not to this time around. Now we're just coming around through some of these areas we skipped over. We're gonna have another boss here. We're gonna talk to an NPC here, deal with this encampment, and then pick up some stuff that I missed along this edge. After that, I think we're gonna try and... Oh yeah, we've got to go clear the Great Kenneth Heights Fort. And then I think we'll deal with the nighttime bosses that we left out. And then we'll go ahead and try and enter Stormvale. Oh, let's... I never respect this guy enough. And he always punishes me for it. So I'm not going to learn from my mistakes, and I'm just going to charge him and win. Yeah, mama. There we go. No! I dislike that you were able to go through my stuff. There we go. That is some multiplayer stuff. I do not really do a lot with it. So we will continue to ignore it. And then I believe the only other thing will be this. For real though, every time I run into Vare at the beginning, he sounds creepier and creepier. Just every single time. You'd think that knowing what he says, I would not be as disturbed by his tone. Yet here we are. Okay, so what I'm wanting is down a level. Yeah, down. But we have to deal with this knight, and we're gonna hopefully deal with it first try. So that is an easy way to deal with combatants is to kill their horse, get them on the ground so that you are the only one on a horse. Have a safe drop down here. And surely none of these are going to rise up to the once again, every time you go through a group of enemies, kill all of them, just so that none of them swear vengeance and begin their own hero's journey to kill you. there it is. More talismans. We're gonna have a fun time here. Looking off some of the ranged people so that we can ride around. Alright, so that is everything over here except the encampment. Which we will now ride through to pick up everything and kill the people there. We have some not very nice dogs. In fact, you know, we're gonna bring out our dogs as we drink to get them. Thank you for taking. Ah, good number. Ah, shit, I triggered the alarm system. Ah. Oh, shit. I don't like it. Get him, doggos. I did not even see that dog. That is a very annoying encampment to deal with. Half the time, I just ignore this place. Yeah, that shield is not really worth the hassle of fighting all these people. Something tells me there is something on top of that, and I'm gonna want to run around it. Aha, yep. Is it worth it? Oh, yes, absolutely. It is the lance. It was worth it. Last NPC to talk to is going to be here. Got Bernal.
Not seen you before. Name's Bernal. Tarnished, just like you. Let me ask you something. Are you here in the lands between to take up the fight? Does your faith in the guidance of grace hold firm? Despite the collapse of the Golden Order. Yes, you're a Tarnished through and through. Takes me back. But that's a quality needed now more than ever. Any interest in bearing the torch of my battle arts? All I know is the sword. Picked up a fair few tricks in my time, too. Now's the time to pass them on. To a good and proper Tarnished, like you.
Bernal's a cool dude. He will sell you more Ashes of War. We're gonna go ahead and get no skill and quick step.
There's a myriad of battle arts in these lands that I've yet to discover. Mementos of all the warriors who raised their arms in battle, lost and died. A fine tale,
all told of true chivalric romance. That's how I fell in love with the sword and the arts of combat. It grants meaning even to falling in battle, to death itself.
Yep, so
Well.
we learned what we wanted.
Until we meet again.
Now, be careful coming here. There is a nighttime boss that will spawn here. Bernal will disappear. The nighttime boss will come in. He is very hard early in the game. So, you know, maybe avoid this at night or come during the day if you don't want to deal with that. So yeah, we're missing a few things. How important is it? Yeah, you know what? We'll go ahead and we're gonna deal with Knights Cavalry, get the Great Kenneth Heights Fort back. Let's see, we need 1,600. We have robbed enough tombs to have that. Oh shoot, we're gonna need more. I didn't look at the... Yep. We need 16 more. Time to go just murder a man for money. Yep, okay, I deserve that. Not the cleanest kill, but I got the 16 money. Yeah, we'll get a little more into mind. Oh, shoot. Duh. I literally said this is a nighttime boss, and then tried to ride off and fight him during the day. So yeah, you'll probably see if you ride through here at night, the bridge is guarded by a giant black horseman. Hulking Knights Cavalry. Well, first about your business. There. Oh. You can't either. So yeah, Knights Cavalry ride around at night in certain locations. Usually give decent stuff when you... Well worth it most of the time. The annoying thing is, a lot of the time, you can be swinging at them and only hitting their force, which can be a bit aggravating at times. So now, we are going to come through here and we skipped a little section early on. Come through and complete that. Lots of poison flowers. Stand here. Not a hard boss, but it is an enclosed space, so the wolves can really help. These pumpkin heads do not want to That's an awkward cricket, but I think that is the first time I ever had to do that. So, easy boss who guards a sorcery teacher for all the int-based
Tarnished, are we?
casters.
I wonder you should turn up here. I am Selen, a sorcerer, quite plainly. Why are you here? Ah, a yen for glintstone sorceries. I dare say your proclivities are far from ideal. Oh well, perhaps nurture will defy nature, with a bit of luck. But one must choose one's masters wisely. I was exiled from the Academy of Rea Lucaria as a reviled, apostate witch. Do you still wish to learn from me?
So I've seen some people, first time playing, get confused and worried that answering her a certain way will lock you out of things. It doesn't.
Well, you are a piece of work. Very well. You are now my protégé in glintstone sorcery. But I refuse to coddle, or cast kind words. Never. Anticipate grievances, young apprentice.
Yeah, I recommend just answering yes and being her apprentice, whether you're here for sorcery or not. She has a fun little interaction with a few quest lines later, and I actually like her quest line. I do not mind her. She is, unfortunately, a questionable NPC that we receive a lot of mixed information on. But you know, I'll just believe the good in her. Hey, Skull. This is what I was talking about earlier with you'll find these little graveyard sarcophagi areas with the wolves guarding them. Rob more graves, get more money. Have over here somewhere. Hey, one of the springs. Now this delivers us right into Bear Town, so we are just gonna run. here we have the grace that we got earlier. Going to replenish everything at it. Going to switch back to our little turtle friend. And we're going to go kill all the people who took over the Great Kenneth Heights fort so he can move back in. This is definitely one of those areas that you can run to earlier. The horse makes the fighting outside a bit easier because they do not deal well with the horses. I still summon if the wolves are helpful. We just bought a pumpkin head so we know we can take him. Excuse me for 1 minute. So we know we can take this guy. I don't know why he has an aggro. There we go. His head. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and pop this to get our health regen going. Deal with a lot of rats. And people throwing fireballs. Because rats aren't annoying enough. Now be careful, there are explosive barrels. So those fire bombs can set them off and deal a lot of damage. Whew. Excellent, good doggos. We're going to run up here to the other fire bombers. The only really scary person in the fort is this guy. Blade, which can be very, very frightening. If you get hit by it, does a lot of damage. We can now use it as an Ash of War. Really good for an arcane build, especially early before you get the whetstone that lets you make a blood weapon out of just anything. Bleed is also really, really nice. The only problem with Bleed is the enemies that are just flat out immune to it. And unfortunately, until we get the wet blade that allows you to make a arcane weapon to have as a sidearm for things immune to bleed, bleed kind of suffers as an infusible thing early on. Alright, so I believe there's one thing outside the back of the port that we want to get. We'll pay for those. Or not. Maybe I'm thinking of loot somewhere else. Yep. Nothing here. Alright. So we can go ahead and teleport. You know what? We're gonna go tell Kenneth Haight that we cleared out his fort for him. Get the reward for a good deed.
I've been waiting for you with bated breath. Did you manage to recapture my fort? Oh, excellent news. Just wonderful. And the knight's dead to boot. Well done, my friend. Well done indeed. I knew I was right to trust you. Now, here's your reward, as promised. Go ahead. It's all yours. Right then. Time for me to head to the fort. I've much to do. First, I'll have to re-establish communication with the demi-humans. What's that look? You don't believe me? Well, under the Erd Tree, commingling with the demi-humans is made possible. Even the vulgar shall not be left behind, under the rule of true order. Which is why I, Kenneth Haight, next in line as the rightful ruler of Limgrave, have sworn to uphold it. Just you watch, my friend. Just you watch.
Yep, so that's pretty much all we're gonna get out of him for now. We can go talk to him at the fort, but his quest line does not progress until much later. So, right now, we're gonna come over here, and we're gonna kill the last two nighttime only bosses. So we have another Devil's Cavalry. Knight's Cavalry. This one with a flail, so... I wish my horse could shoulder check like that. So if you can get on the side that isn't where his weapon is, in other words, don't do what I'm doing, it'll be a lot easier. We're also going to not fight too close to the merchant. The merchants are cool, and I don't like killing them. We ran right into that flail. I wish he would not run so close to the merchant. Here we go. Some stamina. Oh! No wonder this is going so long. I am targeting the horse over him. Alright, to get the critical, you have to just stab him. Now, killing the horses for these guys can make it a lot easier to deal with them. However, they will just resummon the horse right away. If they so choose, sometimes they'll take a bit. So, it's not a overly great strategy. Okay. We're gonna go with strength a bit more. We kind of want to hit 100 focus points. But we're not going to do that before Margit, most likely. So in that case, I want to have more strength for more damage. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and make more holy pots. Come along back here, the bats are out. try and run through and kill the bats really quickly. Because they are absolutely obnoxious with the death bird. Death bird. I always think Torrent is a little faster than he actually is. I thought he was gonna hit him. Wildlife. Okay, well. Mission accomplished. The bat died. Ooh, I don't know how that first strike was. Like what you done before, health pods, especially if you can hit them directly on the head, do massive damage. I don't like targeting the head though, because it's a skinny little flamingo neck likes to flop the head all over the place, so targeting the head is a good way to miss entirely. Also, you know what, while I am here, might as well grab what I missed from the poison swamp. So, the great thing about having a horse that you can ride upon is that your spirit horse cannot be poisoned. Once again, ignore the screaming from the crucified people, they just do that at night. So yes, the spirit horse cannot be poisoned, therefore you can ride through the poison swamp with ease. Oh, so many bats. So last thing that we missed is we have this guy. Guarding a smithing stone. So that is it from what we want from the Leaving Peninsula. There is something I do want right before market. So a fun bit of the game is most of the places you can see, you can go to, including that beach down there. You just need... There's a fucking wolf right there. I didn't even know you could safely get there. Holy crap. Buddy, what's your story? Why are you there? But yeah, if you can see a place, you can almost always get there. In this case, we can get to the beach with this spirit spring. Hop on down. And then we have a boss here. Should not be too difficult at our level. He is very staggerable. Very nicely. If you have trouble with anything, may I present to you the Claymore, which is worth trying purely because of the simple joy of smashing a lot of enemies flat with that Ash of War, which I thought is wonderful. So, we're gonna come through this cave. This isn't an actual dungeon. I didn't point it out yesterday while we were here, but that's the tutorial area. And this you can see from there, but not reach. You have to come down through this little back alleyway to get the talisman there. So with all that, I think a decent place to call it will be trying on Margit. So it's time to proceed where the guidance of Grace has been telling us to go this entire time. What did I say? You guys have an insane combo with those knives. Now, before we do that, though, so you can run under the bridge here and come to this other bridge that leads to Liurnia, the second area of the game. Got a nice little fortune teller here.
You, please, I can read them. Your fingers, please, your fingers. Oh, bless you. Head to the fountain of gold tarnished. Traverse Rhea Lucaria, glintstone eventide, and reunite the half-crescents at the grand lift. Oh, but the bridge is collapsed and cannot be crossed. Only, why should that matter? Stormvale Castle still stands tall.
So yeah. She gave us a nice little fortune direction, but unfortunately the bridge is out. Gotta go through the castle, yada yada. Okay, that's a good message. Now, if you see right along there, there is a pathway along the cliffs that will bypass the castle entirely and get you to Rhea Lucaria. I don't recommend it for a first playthrough, but it is possible if you get frustrated with the castle and you decide you'd rather move on and play other parts of the game instead of trying to beat the castle at that point. Okay, more bats. Come on down. Oh, wow! Synchronized strength. A well-oiled ambush machine. Yeah, so personally, I don't recommend it because moving into Liurnia will move several NPCs, which, if you have not encountered them, can make things harder. It can screw up some of your progression bits. So, you can run along the road. Oh, did I get... I think... Nope, okay. You can run along the road, however, it is heavily fortified. There's people with ballista. There's lots of guards. So I highly recommend just, riding casually through the hills. Forgot that we had a hornblower. He should have died first. Ah, the tree. Killed by a tree, god damn it. There's the hubris. That's when you can say hubris. Where does the Stake of America put us? Oh, cool. Not far at all. Yeah. Oof, that was... I knew I was not playing that well. I did not expect the tree to hit me with a steel chair and just... I didn't think you'd blow it that fast. You know what? Come on. Take off. Rude. Come on out, doggos. And the trees again attempt to murder me. Doggos are not super strong, especially not upgraded, but they do serve as a really good distraction to keep enemies busy. Go right into it. Yeah, so they're really good at keeping enemies busy. Oh fuck. You were dead. He switched to melee far faster than feels fair. Yep, but come up the side path. If you don't, this lovely guy with the ballista will murder you. So just avoid that fate, go the side door. Also, yeah, that is within range of the ballista. So just avoid that scarab and get it after. For best results. Alright, so here we go, the entryway to Stormvale Castle. The brick wall that many streamers have beat their head against. Oh, we can level. Let's see. Let's see, 36. Yeah, and this is without at least 2 dungeons that I can think of off the top of my head. Tombsword Cave, and then the catacombs right here. So this is most of the area cleared. We do have this encampment that we skipped over. We didn't get the caravan here, but pretty much everything else in Limgrave, and we're level 36. So this is a good point to try Margit. If you're having trouble with him, you can go buy the shackle from Patches. That'll make the first phase easier. And then also, you've got a helpful summon in the NPC Rogier. I like him a lot. I don't mind summoning NPCs when I like their storyline. He's a good guy. But you know what? Let's test this out without him. We are going to... I do think the jellyfish does a bit better than the wolves, so... Here we go, we're gonna start Margit. Anyone in chat, feel free to put in how many tries you think this is going to get me to take. We are going to beat him tonight.
Foul tarnished. In search of the Elden Ring. Emboldened by the flame of ambition. Someone must extinguish thy flame. Let it be Margit the Fell.
Get him, Jelly! How dare you hit me? Oh, fuck.
Passing skin. Warrior blood must run in thy veins. Tarnished.
Stop attacking my jellyfish. Oh, fuck me. That would have been perfect. And the jelly got the win. Good job, jellyfish.
I shall remember thee, tarnished, smoldering with thy meager flame. Cower in fear of the night. The hands of the fell omen shall brook thee no quarter.
Honestly, yeah, I would have thought 2 to 3 tries as well. I did not think I would first time him with this, but hey, yeah, I'm not going to complain over the luck there. I'm just happy I didn't roll off the side and kill myself. That would have been very embarrassing. I think Margit is a really good first serious boss to have. He has a lot of mechanics that will crop up later in boss fights, so it's good to just establish them now, mostly with like the delayed swings, the ability to change targets in the middle of his combo, so if you're using, say, a summon, or fighting with an NPC, Margit can still decide in the middle that, maybe I won't attack your jellyfish. Maybe I'll go directly for you. We also need about 5,000, and we'll hit the requirement that we want for mind. So we're gonna go ahead and try to do that. Yep. Yep, especially when I was doing Lion's Claw, there was a moment where I'm like, oh shit, this is gonna send me over the edge, isn't it? Yeah, the magic throwing knives are also a good mechanic to see early on. Just the ability to punish you for backing up and trying to heal. It's good to be aware that you have to, you know, keep those in mind, that backing up is not free, that he will still try and hit you. So yeah, 16 mind is another goal to have, because that gets us 100 FP, which is a good benchmark. It gives you a lot of uses of Ashes of War, incantations, but most importantly, a lot of the special summons require at least 100 FP. Banished Knight Engbol is not terrible. I like the other Banished Knight a bit better, but Engbol isn't bad. He's 100. Lutul, you need 104, so even more, but they are worth it. Yeah, the second phase with the hammer can also throw people off, especially with the hammer swings. There's a little bit of AoE on a lot of them. So, luckily, we made it through. You too can do this. Once again, yeah, if you explore most of Limgrave and the Weeping Peninsula, get to a decent level, and ignore the Guidance of Grace when it is trying to kill you, like these are, you'll have an easier time. The Guidance of Grace just wants an Elden Lord on the throne. It doesn't overly care if you get killed a few times along the way, as long as you make it to the end, so in following the way of gold. Sometimes you need to get a little stronger and not charge recklessly in. But yeah, I think that's what's gonna do it for us tonight. This is a good stopping point. We've got everything cleared except a few areas that we'll go to after Stormvale as just some house cleaning afterwards. But it looks like tomorrow we're gonna be exploring Stormvale Castle and trying to get our first great room. So thank you for anybody who tuned in. I'll be streaming tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and most likely Thursday as well. If you missed parts of the VOD and want to see it, it'll be posted on my YouTube channel, probably tomorrow or the next day. And yeah, hope to see you again. Feel free to follow if you want notifications for when I go live. And yeah, had a great time. Hope everyone has a great night, and I see you again. Bye.